I love that song, baby. Oh, yeah. It doesn't get any better than that. That's what we want to hear, blaring from the stadium each and every game when the team takes the field, when the team leaves the field, and we have shown dominance in the stadium, just like the gladiators did, back in the Roman days. Have you ever thought that, that football really is like the gladiators back in the Romans? They brought out the tigers and they brought out the bears and the exotic animals. And then these gladiators fought them to the death. Well, that's what football stadiums are, right? The rich people get the best seats, like Nero and his king and all his royalty. And then the poor people sit up in the stands. They sit way up at the top. Okay, that's where the cheap seats are. But that is the music we want to have playing. That's what we want to have playing each and every time we take the field. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Seminoles Sideline 365. You've got Bruce, the old man, as KB calls me. And where the hell is KB? KB, you around? Where are you? KB's on the road. KB is actually got a real job where he has to go out and make real money, and he's out on the road. I think he had a Christmas party, but he's in the great state of California. He's not that I'd want to live there, but he's in the great state of California this week, and he'll be flying home late tomorrow. So I don't know if he's going to poke his head in here or not. You don't know with him. He gets a little anxious what I'm doing and how I'm running the show, and he'll check. He may check in on us. So I want to welcome all our viewers here. And if you'll do us a big favor, we don't ask this a lot. If you kind of like what we do, even if you don't like what we do, just hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that. We appreciate that a lot. It motivates us. And after this evening, which I'll tell you about, I really need the motivation. It motivates you. Hit that subscribe button for us if you haven't already done that. Find some new subscribers for us and hit that like button and drop us some comments. We really want your comments. This program is about you. Okay, it is about us. But it's about you and your comments and your feelings, because we're gonna put you on the air here if I can figure out, because our intern is not here and should be fired for the directions they left. But I'm going to do my best to get you on there. I wish I could have a phone line here. I'm working on that. I'm trying to have the technical people and KB get us a phone line so we can take your phone calls, which would be awesome, man. That would be literally awesome in that regard. So we're working on that for 2023. But I'll tell you what, if KB doesn't get me some new equipment and get me a new studio, I may go into the portal. And that's what we're going to be talking about. Not just the portal, but we're talking about the roster. There's a lot of FSU media outlets. If you want every little nitty gritty piece, you can go listen to them. That's okay. We're not jealous of anybody. Go listen to them. But we're going to really look at the roster and how are we adding to it or taking away from it? What's it going to look like for 2023? That's got to be a huge, huge focus for us in that regard. So I want to hear your comments tonight, and I'll get as many of you up on the program as possible. And do me the first favor, because when I don't have KB here, I can't tell if anybody's listening or not. I can see you're listening. Oh, here we go. What's up, Bruce and Chad Gold knows. So you can hear me, Mike. Mike, you can hear me. I appreciate that, Mike. There's Mike. That's our first viewer up. Mike, good loyal follower. And you can hear me. All right. That's what we're looking for. Okay. You've had one of these days, right? Everybody know what that is? Not a great evening. I had to switch studios. Because I won't say the word. A Dagby's in here. All right, good to see you. Good to see you, Dagby. Sometimes you run out of paper when the crap really hits the fan. Well, you know what? For the Noles, they got a whole roll, man. They ain't looking for it under the stall, asking somebody. They got a whole roll coming in for 2023, brother. Okay, they got a whole roll here, and I love that Dagby calling out Mike there, saying what's up. That's what we want. We want a round table here. I wish I could bring everybody into the studio. We sit around and discuss all this, but we're going to be, if I can, keep this technical stuff up and working. I was set up. I was ready to go in my original studio, my primary studio, the one I like. I got the Christmas tree up, got the Christmas decorations, and then the computer doesn't come up. Okay. Everybody's had that. If you've been in this business, everybody's had that, and it wouldn't come up. And then it goes into updates. And what happens on updates? Spins and spins. So I had to delay the program from 8:30 to 8:45, and I appreciate your patience. Crap happens. That's why you got to have the paper. Got to have the paper. Don't have this. Got to have the paper. Okay, for sure. But I had to switch studios, bring up my alternate equipment, and I hope it's working okay. And I had to get into my alternate location. So it's been a hell of a last hour or so, to be honest with you. But we're here for football. That's what we're here for. I mean, Florida State right now, the Noles are busting it. They're really busting it. Now, hats off to the team we don't see or hear that much about. This is the team behind the team, and that is the football operations staff, okay? And one day, KB and I are going to put up a directory of what this staff looks like. It's huge. I mean, it's just like an NFL team now. And that's what we've always said on this program. This is AAA NFL football that we're now playing at the college level. That's what it is, okay? And the NCAA can say all they want, no pay to play. Well, that's a total joke, because that's what we're doing. So let's turn to the roster right now. And I'm not going to pull up a bunch of fancy stuff for you to see, but here are the people. First, I always like to see who's out of the system. And if I miss somebody, I want you to Dagby says, ran out of paper today. Literally. Don't get caught. I want to talk about who's left the program just quickly. And if I've missed someone, you guys send me a note and let's put it up on the air. I'm not perfect. I don't pretend to be perfect. Chambry Jackson is out. Kayshawn Hilton is out. Jarrett Jackson is out. Amari Gaynor is out. Rod Orr is out. George Wilson is out. Sam McCall is out. Geno English is out. And Lloyd Willis is out. If I miss somebody, send me a note, but be sure when you send me the note. I have listed two of these guys as somebody that were contributors, one was a contributor, one had high potential. Amari Gaynor, he's going to catch on. The last thing I saw, he was up maybe interviewing with Cincinnati Bearcats. Amari Gaynor is a good pickup for another team out there. He is a hardworking guy, and we're going to miss him, certainly in a backup support role and special teamer. Sam McCall, high potential guy, never got on the field that much as a freshman. Obviously, his development was much slower than we thought as a 5-star guy. But stars are subjective. They're totally subjective. So Sam McCall's gone. The other ones, not huge contributors. Keyshawn Hilton, a real trooper. Didn't open his mouth, stayed on the team, didn't complain, didn't badmouth anybody, and literally was a real trooper. Keyshawn Hilton is out of here. Geno English, backup walk-on quarterback, didn't really contribute except in the scout teams. He was a good contributor on scout teams, and we appreciate his service to Florida State, and he didn't badmouth anybody. Everybody who has left has been a real trooper in terms of not bad-mouthing the program. That shows you're running the right type of program. And we should be certainly happy to hear that. I'm over here playing with a keyboard a little bit. So if I'm looking away from you, that's why. Okay, here's the guy. Here are the players so far that we have on the board as inbound. Now, inbound, let me say this. I said it on Twitter. Now, if follow us on Twitter. Here you subscribe on Twitter, you follow. You probably already know that. Okay, a lot of people might not. I don't know. It doesn't cost you a dime to do this. Just follow and subscribe. Thanks. Here are the inbounds. We have Keziah Holmes, running back from Penn State. This guy is a good upgrade to our running back room, even though that running back room is already stuffed full of people. It's already stuffed full of people. Okay. The problem there is can we get these guys on the field enough? If we have, they're all coming back, basically. They're all coming back. We brought in Daryl Jackson. His family has a medical issue. It looks like he's going to get a medical waiver to move closer to his family. I think it's his mother, and prayers and thoughts go out to that family. He's coming in from Miami. He played a lot of reps, had a lot of reps on the field as defensive tackle. He is going to be a big contributor in 2023. And then we have Jaheim Bell, which most of you have already probably heard of. Okay, Jaheim Bell has come out of the portal from South Carolina, and this guy is Mr. Everything. He can run the ball for you, and I'm wondering if he's going to be a banger for us inside the red zone. Could he be the banger 3 yards out, which we had to really get cute with down there because we don't have the guy who can slam it home. Could Jaheim Bell be that guy, not only as a tight end as well? He ran the ball about 75 times for Carolina because they were hurting at running back. All right. And so he could play that role. Now, Blake Nicholson, who's due in out of high school, this guy scored like 42 touchdowns. Okay. I would think, and he plays linebacker. That's going to be his primary position. I would think Blake Nelson could lug the ball like DJ Lundy 3 yards into the end zone. But we need that banger. So we got to find it. Is it going to be Jaheim Bell? Is it going to be Blake Nicholson? Is it going to be DJ Lundy? But we got to have somebody. We can't run cute plays down there. Some people don't like that term cute, but that's what KB and I call it. So now the big news today is Kyle Morlock, 6'7", 250, coming in at tight end. He has chosen the Noles over mainly Tennessee and a late charge by our former own Deion Sanders out at the University of Colorado. And by the way, it's a good transition. Now, see, there's the old Buffalo helmet. Now, you're all saying, well, why did the old man go out and get that? What, did he order that on Amazon? No, I didn't order nothing on Amazon. And if I have to turn my camera around, I can do that for you, but I'm not going to do that. 1978, I get my master's degree from the University of Colorado Boulder. And so I do have a little bit of connection there. It is a beautiful campus. It's a beautiful facility. It does get cold there. And that's the thing that Deion's not going to like. Kyle Morlock comes into the Seminole program. This guy, it can be a difference maker. Now, the key is, welcome to the show, David. The key is, can Kyle make the transition from shorter university? Can he make that difference? Can he block ACC, SEC, Division I type Power 5 defensive players? Can he get open on that type of talent down the field? If he can, and Coach Norvell and staff believes he can make that transition, he's picked the right place. But he is going to get tested not only by our D-backs and our defensive line, he's going to find out real quick. So he has some level. He has an uphill curve. So let's not label him the next Gronk coming in here at this point, all right? Because we don't know if he's going to be Gronk. He's got the size to be Gronk. I've seen film on him getting downfield. He gets the first 15 yards downfield pretty quickly. And that's pretty good for his size. And he is going to be a threat, not only with him on the field and Jaheim Bell on the field, and then you've got Trey Benson on the field. You've got Jordan Travis on the field. You've got Johnny on the field. It's incredible. You could have Winston Wright on the field. The problem will be getting all these guys on the field, okay, to be honest with you. Okay, David Delgado, you brought up a good point about the team. I always bring up good points, David. You know that. I appreciate that. See, KB can't say anything. He can't shake his head. David, thank you. You brought up a good point about the team being stacked specifically for the backs. Yeah, that room is just, they're going to have to move some chairs in there. Okay. Do you think the strategy is a long-term for short-term mindset? I think they're trying to make a run next season. The pressure is going to be on this team next season and Coach Norvell and staff and Coach Atkins to make a run for the ACC championship game. I can't say they're going to win that game, but this team is going to have more than enough talent than we have seen in the last, since maybe, I'm going to say 2013, 2014-ish. Now, somebody say, hey, correct me if I'm wrong. But, I mean, we haven't had this type of team coming back because most of this team is coming back. So let's transition into who we're kind of waiting on. And I don't think I've heard anything from these guys at this point. Let's see. Dagby's got a comment in here. Running backs are full, but just in case there's an injury, we need them all. There will be injuries. You could lose a couple of guys. That's why Jaheim Bell at South Carolina was running the football, because they had a lack of experience at running back for the Gamecocks there. So, you know, you can't ever have enough. You can almost expect one or two guys to be down, and it can happen quickly. So it's probably good we have that talent in there. Okay. But we got a lot of guys in there right now. Okay. So let me go I forgot what I was saying. Let me transition to the guys that are still kind of, let's call them holdouts, kind of like the NFL, right? Holdouts. You've got Jared Verse. What is Jared Verse going to do? Now, Jared Verse, in my opinion, and I've been very consistent on this, and Jared, if you're out there listening, and if you are, send in a comment. Jared, you should come back for one more year of development. You had one season out of FCS. You had a pretty good season. I wouldn't call it an exceptional season. I think there's stuff you still need to prove to the NFL scouts. And I think if you don't come back this year, you could fall. You're not gonna end up in the first round. That's just my opinion. You could be high second round, but I think there's some doubters because you not only had an injury, but those disrupted the productivity that you could have shown this year. You are a dynamic player. You're an explosive player. You're a playmaker, but you could come back and really show off and drive it home for first round. All right. So that is a guy that we need to take a look at. That's a guy. I believe he'll come back. I think he's really checking what the NFL scouts, they will give him information of where they see him, but he has to understand nothing's in writing when they give you that information. That's a projection. It's an estimate. And these guys you see on TV giving you these estimates that he's one of the first 15 or 20 players to be drafted, they don't put anything in writing. They're not going to pay you. So that's important. Fabian Lovett is the other guy we're waiting to see. Fabian Lovett, in my opinion, and I've been consistent with this, is not ready to play at the next level. He was injured much of this season, and then he worked his way back slowly into the season, okay? The main key, the main thing is will he come back? I think he will come back. He will return to this team to get more productive, to drive up his draft status. Because right now, I think he'd go 5th, 6th round. He could possibly go undrafted. That's not unheard of. That's not unheard of. Okay. So, my opinion, Fabian, if you're listening, come back to this team and give it one more season. Both these guys, I feel, might be trying to leverage for better NIL deals. And I think that goes on. That's going on. That's the problem with NIL is we can't tell what's going on. We can't tell who's getting what kind of money. There's just projections out there you can look at, but we have no idea what kind of money and deals are floating around. Okay. David's got a good comment. Yep. Verse one more year to develop because the NFL is another level of play. Clearly. Now, Jermaine Johnson is working his butt off. Okay. He had a great punt block last weekend. It was great to see that. But I would suspect these guys, Jared Verse should call up Jermaine Johnson, get his opinion of what's going on at the next level. Okay. That also increases his value for the first round when it's his time. Totally agree with you, David. Totally agree with that. Let's see. Dagby Verse has early round potential. Early round. He just needs to show more. Well, I think if they don't get the information they need, you might not see Fabian, and you might not see Jared Verse in the bowl game. The Cheez-Its Bowl in Orlando, and by the way, there are still tickets available down there. I think the ticket price is $75 to $80. Then you got to add the fees on with Ticketmaster and all that other stuff. But it's going to be in Orlando on Thursday, the 29th of this month coming up. And that should be a real good game. So those are the guys, the holdouts. I say that the two holdouts that I'm aware of that can make a difference on this team because they're both defensive linemen. Going into 2023, and that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at the roster here tonight is we need help on that defensive line. Now, they're going to take they're gonna try to grab a couple guys out of the portal, and that could put some pressure on Verse and Fabian Lovett to make their decision. But I think their decisions are going to come pretty soon. They're going to come pretty quick because my forecast is they're coming back. But besides that, we still need some defensive linemen and at least another edge rusher, at least one edge rusher, at least two interior defensive linemen. And if you think I'm wrong, put your argument up and I'll try to get it up here on the board. Okay. Let's see. David, trying to make that bowl. It's only 30 minutes from my house. David, his tickets out there available. I don't think it's going to sell out. So if you have to make a last minute decision, I think you're going to be fine there. So if anybody needs space, David, you'll rent them a room in your house to spend the night. Is that right? You'll kind of do a pseudo Airbnb under the table. So no, I'm just kidding. So I think that's the that's kind of where we are now. Where are we going to get help from? Okay, the next level of help, if you're not going to get these guys in the portal, and the portal's kind of lean this year, to be honest, lean, L-E-A-N. They're kind of thin in terms of good potential or producers already on the defensive line and the offensive line. I don't see it. It's going to be difficult to get a quality guy, especially on the offensive line. And we're definitely going to have to get at least a couple to three guys out of the portal. They're going to be kind of a lottery pick to see if they're going to be any good and can play for this Seminoles team and protect Jordan Travis and open up those running lanes for our elite running back room. That's going to be very, very interesting to see because our football operations staff and Coach Norvell are working their asses off to make this run in 2023 because 2024 is going to be a totally different look on this team because we will lose a ton of talent in 2024. So here's some key high school targets that are being looked at. All right, that are being looked at. Okay. One is, let me take, Blake Nicholson has committed and is no doubt he should sign on the early signing period, which is going to be a wild day next Wednesday. I think that's Wednesday, December the 21st through the 23rd is early signing days for high school recruits. We expect to see Blake Nicholson all the way from California. He just had an in-home visit not too long ago with Coach. And is he a one-position guy? It looks like he's going to be a one-position guy, but I think they should take a look at him as a banger in the red zone down inside the 5-yard line. Just my opinion, folks. And then we have a couple of D edges there, defensive edge rushers that they're trying to get in. Ruben Bain. I projected Ruben, despite what everybody else says, I projected him a 60-40. Maybe it's going to go 50-50 now of getting him away from wrestling him out of Miami. All his homesteads are down in Miami, and he could be difficult to dig out of there. However, since Miami has such a dumpster fight now, all right, he may decide that's not in his best interest. I want to go to a winning program and I want to go to Florida State. Okay. So he may get a lot of blowback from friends down there and other players and his crew down there, but he's got to look out for himself. Ruben Bain. All right. Another defensive edge and a legacy player is Lamont Green. I think we have a real good chance of getting Lamont, but he is not going to be a major contributor. These two guys would not probably be major contributors in 2023, but they would be good backups, and they would make them ideal for 2024. Other guys that we're taking a look at down there is Chris Otto. He's a 6'5", 290-pound offensive lineman from Key West. Key West. I didn't even know they played high school football in Key West. Okay. The question for Chris Otto, and they really like Chris Otto. So who am I to say he's not a good player? I don't know. He's a 3-star guy. If Coach Atkins believes he can be developed, which I believe he does, he's got a lot of guys in his room. He's got, 18 offensive linemen, something like that. I haven't checked the numbers lately. But Chris Otto, I don't know what kind of talent he's been playing against down there. So he would not be a contributor in 2023. Best, if he really develops quickly, would be a backup in 2024. Okay, so then you've got Cedric Baxter, a running back. I don't think Cedric Baxter is going to be recruited into a room where there's no chairs left. And I don't think he wants to play musical chairs. This guy's like a 4 or 5-star guy. Texas is high on his list. I don't think we're going to see him. We're still pursuing him heavily. I don't think that's is probably going to work. I don't think he's coming here. Okay, Kareem Robinson. Kareem Robinson, interesting guy from the great state of Virginia. Kareem Robinson is a UVA commit, but they didn't have a great year. They're actually rebuilding. Kareem Robinson could come in and probably be a support guy on special teams and make a run at linebacker as a backup. So he's a possibility. I think we have a shot to get him. I think 60-40, we have the odds of maybe bringing him in. I think he's going to be impressed with what we got going on in Florida State. And why I'm saying that, by the way, if I can find my note here, I don't really need the note. We're opening up that brand new facility, the brand new football-only facility there at Florida State this Saturday. The ribbon cuttings this Saturday. I think they're going to have a bunch of guys, bunch of recruits in, and can walk them through there. They're walking them through there anyways, any weekend. But that thing, I saw the pictures online, courtesy of a couple of the media outlets there, a couple of people who threw up some photos, and I can't remember their names. I'll give them credit. We give credit where credit is due here. I think it was Logan. I think Logan had it up. Logan had it up, so thanks to him. But great pictures. Oh, my God, this is elite. This is a 5-star facility. It's going to knock the socks off of people. Really going to knock the socks off people. And the players should love this. Okay, now I didn't see a lazy river in there. I didn't see a go-kart track in there. Things like that players demand these days. But it's football only, and they got a big 50-yard practice field, and then it looks like a red zone practice field. It really looks impressive. So hats off to Coach Norvell's staff, all the boosters, alumni, big contributors for bringing that in to Florida State, because that's going to help your recruiting. Okay, that's what the kids want. The kids want the glitter and the bling. That's what they want. Okay, so this is the new age of college football. The Vince Lombardi days of hard nose, rub some dirt on it, are over. This is a different time and a different generation. Money, bag money, cars, trucks, deals. Everybody's looking to get paid. That's just the way it is. Okay, I accept that, because this is NFL light AAA ball is what it is. Power 5 Division I is AAA ball. We are the personnel system for the NFL. So these coaches have to talk to these kids, because every kid wants to go to the NFL. Every kid won't be going to the NFL, so they better get their college degrees, and I think we're doing a pretty good job with that too. Florida State has some really great academic programs. So they can get tuned up by some of the best coaches in the land, taught up by some of the best professors in the land. It's a great situation for people. And I'm a little biased because I am a graduate of Florida State, and you know that, all right? And Colorado, by the way. But Florida State is hands above the Colorado facilities. Hands above. So another player that we need to talk about, and everybody's been talking about this guy, all right? Everybody's been talking about this. Go, wait a minute. Dagby's very active here tonight, and I appreciate that. Anybody wants comments, send them in. I'll get them up as fast as I can. Dagby, hopefully nothing non-essential in that facility. Players will only use a few times. Nothing non-essential in that facility. Yeah, there are not a lot of pinball machines and stuff. I didn't see that. Okay, that's more over on the locker room side and stuff like that. But it looks like football only. This is where you're going to develop your skills, and you're going to go forward. You want the go-kart track, go find that down in Tallahassee and have a great time. David, this may be off topic, but do you see any coaching staff changes that could help or hurt any continuity that these kids have with their coaches? I do not see, at this point, I do not see any coaching changes on this staff going into 2023. This is the big run into 2023. After 2023, I can see some coaching staff changing. This staff will change after the 2023 season. And I'll start with one guy right away. And that's going to be Coach Atkins. Alex Atkins will probably pull up and leave at that point. He'll get offers he probably can't refuse. That's my projection. And that's way out there. I get it. But that's one guy I could definitely see probably leaving. So 2023 is going to be a exciting and very, very big year. That's for sure. All right. So the guy I want to talk about that, and I can't say I'm 100% sure on this, but I don't think anybody can say they're 100% sure on this kid. Okay. And this is no disrespect to the player, to the kid, to the family. Destyn Hill, a player coming out of Louisiana. Destyn Hill was supposed to come out a year or two ago, and somehow something, I don't have the story on it. I'm not sure anybody has the real story on it. And I'm not going to sit here and report stuff I'm not really sure of. We don't do that here on Seminole Sideline 365. We don't do that. Destyn Hill is a high potential player. He's a 4-5-star guy. The question is, he's been out of football a year or two. And does he have the mentality right now? Does he have the football mentality? Does he have the motivation to get back into the game to the level to perform in a Power 5 situation? Now, he's a skill player. He's a wide receiver coming out of Edna Karr, Louisiana High School. Are there issues there that we don't know about? We just don't know. If you're out there, Destyn Hill, and you want to come on this program at any time, Destyn Hill, please let us know. We'll bring you on the program, and you can have the airtime. But we want you to come in here. We want you to be successful. It looks like he has committed to Florida State, a verbal commitment. Now, remember, any transfer portal guys aren't really on the team until they enroll in classes. The same thing with high school targets. They're not committed until they sign the contract, okay, that locks them in. A signed contract does, scholarship contract. And they will have that opportunity December the 21st through the 23rd. So that's going to be an exciting week coming up next week, Christmas week. Come on, man. I'm going to be watching that stuff, and we're going to see if that phone's ringing. And I think it's going to be ringing. I don't think Coach Norvell and staff are panicked like they were a year or two ago to rebuild this team. They are being a lot more selective and picky in terms of the players that fit the mentality and the makeup of this team. They don't want any character issues. They don't want any off the field type issue guys. They don't need to bring those guys in anymore. We don't need any bad news bears on this team. And I think you saw that in the kids that did go into the portal, and we wish them all the best of luck, is none of them badmouth this program except Sam McCall. Okay. And we wish him the best of luck. But I think he was immature in some of his comments and how he went about his process. But that's okay. Sam, we wish you the best of luck in that regard. But that's what we're kind of looking at in terms of the roster at this point. This offense is pretty much already built, ready to go. The question will be the offensive line, because we are losing some people on that offensive line. They must be replaced. And I think that is the number one question going into the offseason for 2023. Okay. My ace scout out there, Dagby, says Destyn Hill is coming. Okay. Well, I wish Destyn Hill would get enrolled for the January classes. Okay. Get enrolled, Destyn, as quickly as possible. The same thing with the portal players. Get enrolled, get in the program, get into the new facilities, and let's play some football and get you on your career path heading to the NFL. You know, we used to shy away from saying stuff like that. No, you can't do that. That's what it is. So thank you for my scouts out there. Dagby and David, let's see, and Mike, you're all scouts here for us. We got scouts out there. You're in an unpaid intern type situation. So I want you to understand that. If you want to become one of our scouts, okay, then, you know, subscribe, hit that like button, drop us your comments each week, and we'll make you part of the scout team here. Okay, who we got here? Let's see. Let's put up Nick Bowen fishing. Has Verse announced? No, I was just talking about that, Nick. If you just joined the program, I won't rehash that, but Verse is still hanging out there. Verse and Fabian Lovett are still hanging out there. I think they're weighing their options. I think their options are going to tell them the NFL is not the way to go, but they're going to try to leverage the NIL. I don't blame them for that. I don't blame them for that. Not at all. I don't really blame them for that. Let's see. David, consider it community service for FSU. You got it, buddy. You got it. You got it. I appreciate that. David's one of our scouts, one of our original scouts. We got 3 original scouts now. You guys are going to have to, everybody else is going to have to battle for those positions. We got David, we got a Dagby, and we got Mike. The rest of you guys are going to have to scramble here a little bit. Okay. So that's good. But that's kind of what we're seeing right now. I heard through social media there that Florida State's probably ranked in the top 10 now for portal transactions. Somebody said they were like number 6 for portal transactions. Those numbers don't mean a lot to me, but it just, you know, that's media stuff. Some of these media guys have to talk every day on stuff, but that's good. That shows that the football operations program is doing very well here for the Noles. Very, very well. And I'm happy to see that. Now, remember, I went through some dark days. 1973, we were 0-11. I sat through those games as a student. I showed up early for the warm-ups, and I didn't leave till the game was over. Not one time. I don't do that. True FSU fans don't do that unless they have a really good reason to leave. Like, you got to get home early to pay the babysitter. You know, what do they get, $20 an hour now? Something like that. Good God. I can see why you might leave early if we're blowing somebody out, right? Okay, early signees for 2023. I'm not focused on, I see we're already getting guys for 2024 commitments. We're getting guys for 2025. That's a little way out there. I'm not going to get bogged down in that. We've got, looks like for early signees that we might expect next week for high school recruits, 16 commitments. 16. It'll be very interesting to see how many of those guys sign early. I think there's pressures on guys to sign early. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Because other slots on this football team are now being filled by portal guys at their positions. So there's pressure on these guys to make their selections. Make the best selection, guys, if you're out there listening. But Florida State is a great program, great coaching staff. We're on the climb and great facilities. Okay, I'm not fond of that one McDonald's down there on Tennessee Street. What's the cross street down there? I forget the cross street, right across from the Union. I wouldn't go in there and hang out. But you go down to Madison Social, you go down to the train yard. Great place to hang out. That's where you should be. Okay, and you're hanging out with your friends and buddies, and it's a great situation. We've got a lot of nice things in Tallahassee. I love Tallahassee. But we're ranked. The last time I saw it, this was about 2 or 3 days ago. We're ranked like number 17 nationally for high school commitments at this point. So whatever that means, I'm not big on that numbers on those types of things. Okay, so that's good news. All good news. Let me see if I've got any questions on the board about the roster before I move on to a couple other things. But you guys are out there. We want your comments. We want your comments. Bring them to us, whether you agree or disagree. This is a program about communication. Okay. Let's see. I think Destyn Hill, a Dagby is. You're right. Destyn's career destiny is being stagnated. I think his crew got with him and his family. So listen, Destyn, you're this superstar high school 2 years ago. What has happened? What got you off the path here? These young people are making their careers not only academically and getting a degree, but trying to get to the next level where you're going to get paid big time. Don't make your choices based on some NIL deal that is shortchanging you. You've got everything here at Florida State. Yeah, I'm a little biased. I'm biased. I'm not going to hide that. Destyn, come in here, buckle down, get focused, and do what you do. Okay? All right. My scouts active. Tennessee State McDonald's is club fist fight. What? Tennessee Street McDonald's is club fist fight. Yeah. In fact, if you're running a YouTube channel in Tallahassee, you could go down there and probably get some good video out of that. So, but I've been in there. I've eaten. I just kind of go through the drive-through and keep going. Okay. No disrespect. I like McDonald's. I love their chocolate shakes. And their fish sandwiches are the best. People tell me the McRib is good. I have never had a McRib sandwich from McDonald's. I'm a little shy about doing that. But, they're not usually the fish sandwiches you can't beat. I usually have 2 fish, 1 small chocolate shake. We're good to go. But the best chocolate shake is that Steak and Shake. Steak and Shake has a really good chocolate shake if you like that. All right. David Delgado coming in from the field. And it has to be because of the portal. That's why I asked the other night about the portal and its impact on high school kids. Does the portal impact kids like? Yeah, well, Destyn Hill's been out of high school. He's still like a high school guy committing because it does affect these guys. We can go into the portal and get special skill guys who have a career maybe 50, 60 touches on the ball. I saw a guy coming out of, I can't even remember where he was coming. He's coming from a smaller college, but he had 80 receptions in his career. Destyn Hill has 0. Destyn, you got to get working, buddy. You got to get working. I'm just being a mentor. You got to get working, get focused, and get working. So yeah, David, it definitely has an impact on these guys to get going. College Town. Yeah. Dagby's got College Town. Yeah, College Town. Yeah, that's where, we have guests on a show from our opponents, and we tell them, go to College Town, go to the train yard. I think it's called the train yard, the rail yard. Some interesting places down there. But yeah, College Town is the place, especially Friday nights when they have the big powwow down there. It's really, really good, fun place to be. All right, let me go over a few other notes that I've collected here. First of all, let's see. Very interesting. Little off FSU football, but Drew Brees. Did you see that? Drew Brees is now an interim assistant coach at Purdue, and he's going to coach, and he's going to start recruiting for Purdue, which is his alumni, right, for the 2023 season. So he's going to get very active, but he had to get a waiver. Now, this is where the connection comes. This is why I took the note. He had to get a waiver from the NCAA to start immediately. Hey, NCAA, wake up, buddy. Why not a waiver for Baba on our basketball team? We could use this guy. We're 3-9. And you wouldn't waive him for paying back expenses on a travel thing that he didn't even know about. How about giving him a waiver? No, but Drew Brees calls in, an NFL gold jacket guy, and he gets the waiver. Go figure, right? Go figure that. All right. Thoughts and prayers to Mike Leach's family and the Mississippi State University family and all the players there. Mike Leach suddenly died just a couple days ago at the age of 61, which is shocking. Every day we don't know what our destiny is. We don't know when that knock will come. And for Mike Leach, it came way too early. Quite a character of the game. If you don't know a Mike Leach, you go on YouTube, put in Mike Leach, search Mike Leach, and you'll see how much of a character this guy is. He will make you laugh. And I think he was a darn good football coach, and he's going to be missed. The other thing is, next week should be very interesting. We are going to really see, I think we're going to see a show, and that show is called Primetime Show. I think Primetime Deion Sanders is going to make a show, and he knows that this is going to be well covered by ESPN, that it's going to be well covered by early signing day. Is going to be covered by ESPN. And I think he wants to make a show. I think he's even told recruits, if you're committed here and you're coming here, don't say anything to anybody. Let's pop it. Let's pop it out there on Wednesday. And he's going to bring in some guys that are going to surprise the rest of college football. I really believe that. I don't think he's going to fall flat on his face. He is really working the social media, because I'm monitoring some of that just out of interest, if nothing else. Deion was a darn good player here at Florida State, so we can't cast him off. Okay, but it's going to be very interesting next week. He is going to impact some programs. He is going to be reaching into people that other coaches think they got locked up, and he's going to be flipping some of those out. I'd be shocked Travis Hunter's not already in the portal. I don't think I've seen his name in the portal, and he's going to end up out there as well. Okay, so very interesting to see what happens there next week. Now, one other guy in the portal that I didn't mention yet, he's had an official visit. I think today it's happening, and that is the defensive back from the University of Virginia in Charlottesville, which is a great campus. But it's not a big-time football program. They're back in the days of Ralph Sampson, who was their great center on the basketball team. They're not going to win an ACC championship in the next 10 years. Okay, so Fentrell Cypress, who is one of the top rated defensive back in the portal right now, is at Florida State. And Fentrell, if you're listening, this is a great opportunity for you to come into a great program. And no disrespect to University of Virginia, I've been down here several times. I love the place. It's a great place. But you have a chance to upgrade your career, college career, and get to the next level better prepared. Come to Florida State and join the Noles. Fentrell Cypress. Watch for his name. Let's see where he ends up. All right, let's see who we got over here on the board. Wendy, no way. That's crazy. I haven't heard that about Breeze. Oh, yeah. He's out there calling recruits up now, probably quarterbacks. Can you imagine if they're trying to get a quarterback to come in there? Who doesn't want to work under his tutelage? This guy is one of the leaders in the NFL. Crazy stuff, you know. Who else out there? Yeah, it's crazy. Yep. Okay. Let's see if anybody else here on the board. I haven't gotten up yet. Anybody else on the board? If I missed you, I don't mean to. I don't mean to at all. Okay. Other notes of interest, at least to me and hopefully to you. God. Okay. Time's flying by here. Is Jamie Robinson is going to the NFL. He hasn't said anything yet, but he's gone. You know, you could see Fabian Lovett, Jared Verse, and Jamie Robinson not playing in the bowl game. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised that those guys don't play in the bowl game. I don't know. David, I'll get you up here in a minute. I don't know how long they can sit out, and I'm going to look into this. I don't know how long they can sit out and not commit one way or the other, whether they're coming back or they're going to the NFL. I'm going to have to look into that. I don't have the specs on that, but I think that'll be an interesting question. If somebody knows the answer to that, send it to us. I'll be glad to add you to our scout team. Playoff expansion. This is what drives me crazy. We're going to have a big run in 2023. 2024, they expand to 12 teams. That hurts. Okay, that's a tough bullet. That's a tough bullet to swallow. All right, that's when we run out of toilet paper a little bit. Next year, we got the full roll. 2024, we're going to have a limited roll. So that hurts a little bit. But we got to make a big run next year. So keep that in mind. Let's see. That's pretty much what I've got for tonight, except for one other thing. Do you remember the charity challenge that we issued, that KB and I issued? I hope you can see that there. I never can see it. That's the $500 charity challenge, which went out that if we beat Miami and if we beat Florida, we would donate $500 to charities in the Tallahassee area. Well, I can tell you now, those charities have been selected and that money is on the way. But you're going to have to wait till next week when we do our Cheez-Its Bowl pregame, and KB will be back. And we do our Cheez-Its Bowl pregame, and we'll tell you where we were honored to make donations, significant donations to these charities. So that'll be a lot of fun too. And we look forward to being able to announce that out there. Let's see. That's pretty much what I've got. I think we call next Wednesday, the early signing day period, the 21st, as Disruption Day. That's what it's going to be called. Who gets flipped where? I think it'll be very interesting. I think the Noles are going to do really, really well. I think if we lose somebody we think we should have got, we can still go to the portal. There's plenty of time to do that. So I think this Noles team is being built the proper way. And if I didn't, I'd tell you that. This is no sugar, raw and unfiltered here, adults only. And that's what we want here. And I think it's going to be a very fascinating week. So let me see if I've got anything else on here on the board. Let's see what else we got. I'm going to work from the bottom up. I like this. See, I think KB's trying to get rid of me. I'm trying to get this up here. Oh, there it is. Great job tonight, Bruce. I appreciate that, David. It's the motivation that keeps us going here. I miss my buddy KB shaking his head. You know, he doesn't know what I'm going to pull out of the bag. Here we got Panama Jack versus Robinson already agreed to play in the Cheez-Its Bowl. Yeah, you know, I hope you're right, Panama Jack. I think we're going to need them against Oklahoma, and they have a chance to put more on tape. Okay, so it is their opportunity now. Verse and Robinson, they want to put more on tape to drive their status up, to drive that draft status up. So they have a really, really good chance to do that. So it's good news to hear that, but things can change. Things can change. Let's see. David, our scout, David Delgado. Bruce, just one more question. Is there a limit or on transfers from the portal? How many scholarships can the team give? I don't know how many open scholarships we have right now, but there's no cap on it. I mean, if you had 20 positions open, I don't believe there's any cap, David. And I could be wrong there, but I don't think so. I'll look into that a little bit. But there isn't really a cap. We took how many guys out of the portal did we take last year? 13, 14, something like that. It was a huge number. We will not take that many this year, which is a good sign. The backbone of any football program has to be built from the high school ranks. That's really what we want to build. We want to build that backbone from the high school and add special pieces to plug holes from the portal moving forward. And that's really good for our program. And so I think you're going to see those numbers drop down from last year's portal numbers. And it also gives you more NIL money for your existing team as well as portal players coming in. So good question, David Delgado. Appreciate that. And that's pretty much what we've got on the board. Let me see if there's one more here. Okay. Yeah, this is okay. Dagby, we're going to end it with you. We're going to end it with our one of our scouts out there, Dagby. My theory is that Deion's going to flip a lot of players and piss off some schools. Well, you know, I think he's holding. I think Deion likes a splash. Deion wants to make a splash. He's likely to get called out by coaches and get the program put. I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna do anything illegal. If he's smart, he's put a good compliance staff in place, not like that FTX guy did with all the crypto. Obviously, he didn't have any type of compliance staff. That's what I've been told. I'm not a financial expert. Do not take financial advice from me or this program. We are not certified or legalized to do that. So, but Deion, the first thing you want to put in is the compliance staff. Am I doing this right? Am I going forward? Can I call a guy? Can I go visit a guy? You need great advisors. Any college, any people out there want a interesting career, get into compliance and the college level. Very interesting, very complex, but you are a valued member of any football, basketball, college athletics program. And the good ones, the senior ones, really make good money doing that. So I think that's it for tonight, folks. I've got nothing else here. for what I wanted to say, except one last thing, and that is the climb continues. The climb continues. KB and I will see you next week. We'll see you next week as we pump up the Cheez-It Bowl. You know, hey, get out there and work out. Get ready for the Cheez-Its Bowl. And guess who's going to the Cheez-Its Bowl? I hope you are. I hope you are going to the Cheez-Its Bowl. So get those tickets. Let's go down there. Should be a home game for us. And everybody's going to have a really, really good time. And we will always have our show there as well. We'll have the post game. Maybe I'll go into the locker room. If you didn't see me go into the locker room after the Florida Gator game, you need to go back, watch that. I went into the locker room, right? You know I did. All right, that's it from here. We'll see you next week. Watch for us. We'll advertise that. KB and I will be back. Love you guys. Thanks for following us. Thanks for your loyal support. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.